Hello everyone, my name is Shraddha. I am your host and today we are going to talk about the topic layered cloud architecture, how the cloud is actually built.
And I am Shreya. I am really excited about today because honestly, I had no idea how the cloud actually works until we started preparing for this. This one's for everyone who's been seriously but never found the simple explanation.
Quick question Shreya, when did you use lastly the cloud?
Probably 5 minutes ago, I was on YouTube.
Exactly. And before that it may be WhatsApp, Google Photos, Spotify or your college email. We use the cloud every single minute without even realizing it. Today we are going to look at what actually happening behind the scenes.
Yeah, I always just do its works. I never thought about why or how. I think a lot of people feels that way.
Right, that's the genius of a good design. It just works. But today we are going to understand the structure behind all of it. It is called as layered cloud architecture. So this is think about it as a blueprint, the floor plan of how the cloud is built. By the end of this episode, every time you open Google Drive or Netflix, you will know exactly what's happening underneath.
Yes, let's start from sketches. What even is the cloud?
Great question. The word cloud gets thrown around so much that it starts lose meaning. So here's the simplest way to think about it. In the old days, if you wanted to save your file, if you saved it on your laptop's hard drive or in the pen drive, that storage was local and it was physically with you.
I remember carrying the one pen drive everywhere in schools. Losing them was the nightmare.
Right, and that's the problem. What if your laptop crashes? What if you lose your pen drive or hard drive? What if you need the file on different devices? So cloud computing solves all of these problems. Instead of storing files on your own device, you store them on someone else's powerful computers called the servers, which are kept in huge buildings called the data centers, and you reach them through the internet.
So when I upload the photos to the Google Photos, it not just sitting on my phones.
It's exactly. The photo is traveling through the internet and gets stored on Google's servers in data center, which would be in Singapore, US, Europe, anywhere. So you can then access it from anywhere, anytime, and from the any device. That's the core idea, that someone else manages the powerful hardware. You just use it through the internet.
And usually for free or just a small subscription fees. That's such a good deal when you think about it.
It really is. Cloud computing covers three main things. First one is storage, like keeping your files and data. Processing. Second one is processing, running your apps. And third one is services, like things like streaming and email. The big providers like Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud, they are using this. And here's the something that surprises most of the peoples, like Netflix runs on AWS cloud, Spotify runs on Google cloud, and even the massive companies rent cloud space instead of buying their or building their own.
Wait, really? I always assumed that Netflix had their own giant server rooms.
That's a super common assumption, but it actually shows how powerful and efficient cloud infrastructure is. Even if the companies that can afford their own servers still prefer to rent on the cloud providers, and the reason it works so well because of how the cloud is structured in layers.
Okay, I want to understand what that means. What exactly is the layer?
Think of a tall skyscraper. Each floor has a specific purpose. The basement has electrical systems, ground floor has security, middle floors has the offices. Each floor depends on the floor below of it. So you can have the top floor without you can't have the top floor without a solid foundation. Cloud architecture works the same way.
Okay, so there are different floors and each one does the different job.
Exactly. The bottom layers deal with physical hardware. The middle layer organize and manage the hardware, and the top layers are what you and I actually use. So the apps and services. There are 7 layers total. For each one, I'll give you some simple real-world examples so it actually makes sense.
7 layers sounds like a lot, but I think the skyscraper image really helps. What at the very bottom?
So the layer 1, first layer is physical layer. This is the foundation and the actual real physical hardware. It includes servers, like means powerful computers that are always on and connected. Then it includes hard drives and SSDs where all your data is stored and in ones and zeros. And then also it is using networking equipments like cables, switches, routers, and all the cooling systems, because these machines produce so much amount of heat and they just need constant cooling.
I have seen the pictures of data centers online. They look massive, like something out of the movies.
They really do. We are talking about warehouse sized buildings, something or sometimes as big as multiple football fields. So field floor to selling with servers. They have their own power supply, backup generators. They have heavy security. Google, Amazon, Microsoft have hundreds of these around the world, in the US, Netherlands, Singapore, India, and many more places.
Why spread them around the world? It's just for backup.
It is for two reasons. First one is speed. So the closer the data center is to you, the faster your data travels. If you are in Bangalore, your request likely goes to the server in Mumbai or Singapore, not all the way to the US. And second is reliability. If one center has a power shortage, your data is stored somewhere else. So that backup system is called the redundancy.
So the physical layer is like the land and the foundation that the whole skyscraper is built on. Without it, nothing else can exist.
That's a perfect way to put it. And here's the key thing, like as a regular user or even a developer, you never touch a single layer directly. Everything is managed by the cloud providers. But it's important to understand that the cloud isn't floating in the sky. It is in building with the security guards, cooling systems, and backup generators.
So the cloud is very much on the ground.
Very much on the cloud. Let's go up floor. So the next layer is layer 2, which is virtualization layer. This one confuses people at first. But once you understand it, it is honestly one of the clearest ideas in computer science.
I have heard the word virtualization before, but never really knew what is meant. What is it?
Okay, so imagine you have all these powerful physical hardware. The simple approach would be one server for one user. So, but that's wasteful. A server might only be used 10 to 20% of the time. So instead, we use software to divide one physical server into many separate, isolated environments. Each one acts like a completely independent computer, and this is called as virtual machines or VMs.
Oh, so it's like the splitting one big apartment into the multiple studios flats. Same the building, separate spaces.
That's exactly it. And the software that manages this division is called as hypervisor. Think of it as a property manager, making sure that the tenants don't interfere with each other. Because of this, one physical server can serve hundreds of customers at the same time, and each customer thinks that they have their own private server, but they are actually sharing the hardware.
That's how good providers can offer such an affordable price then. They have not giving each person a whole physical machine.
Exactly right. They carve out of a slice of server and give you just what you need at a fraction of the cost. There is also a newer, lighter version of it called as a containers, like Docker, which is even more efficient. Instead of each environment having its own operating systems, containers share the OS, but it keeps the apps separate. But the core idea stays same. Virtualization is what makes cloud computing economically possible.
Without virtualization, cloud services would cost way more and reach way the fewer peoples.
Exactly, it's the secret ingredient. Let's move up to the layer 3. So layer 3 is the network layer. This is all about communication. You have hardware, you have the virtual machines, but they are sitting in the data centers, possibly thousands of kilometers away from you. So how does your laptop talk to them?
Good point. How does the tap on my screen actually reach the servers in another country?
That's exactly what the network layer handles. Think of it as a road systems, the highways and bridges connecting your device to the cloud. This includes routers that decides the path your data takes, switches that connect devices inside the data center, and load balancer that spread the incoming request evenly across multiple servers. So no single one gets overwhelmed, and firewalls that acts as a security guards blocking the suspicious traffics.
What about the CDNS? I have heard that term but never fully got it.
Great question. A CDN is a content delivery network which places copies of popular content on servers all around the world. So if you are in Chennai watching YouTube, the video might actually come from the server in Mumbai, not from the US. This makes things load much faster.
Oh, that's why things load the quickly even when the company is based somewhere far away. The content is already nearby.
Exactly. Netflix uses a massive CDN, so they store the copies of popular shows near every single region, and the network layer also handles encryption. That little padlock you see in your browser, that's the network layer scrambling your data, so that even if someone intercepts it, they can't read it.
Security at the road level, not just at the destination. Smart.
Now we are into fourth layer, which is our infrastructure layer. So infrastructure as a service, we have hardware, virtualization and networking. Now how does a business actually start using all of this?
Right, like a startup that wants to launch the website. What to do actually do?
In the old world, they used to buy physical servers, which cost lakhs of rupees, and wait months for the setup, and hire whole IT team to handle it. With IaaS, they just go to AWS, create an account, and sign up with a virtual server, and in 5 minutes it's done.
5 minutes and you have live. That's why. How much does it cost?
For small servers, maybe a few hundreds of rupees per month, and you only pay for what you use. If the startup shuts down, cancel the subscription. No wasted hardware sitting in the corner. IaaS gives you the computing power, storage and networking without owning or managing the physical stuff. So the big providers like AWS, Microsoft Azure and Google Clouds.
But is there anything the customer has no managed themselves, or does the provider handle everything?
Great question. The provider manages everything up to the virtualization layer, but you, the customer, are responsible for everything above it. So your operating system, your software, your security settings. Think of it like renting an empty apartment. The landlord provides you the flat and basic equipments, but you bring your own furniture, and you decide how to use the space. IaaS is perfect for teams that want full control without dealing with the physical hardwares.
So IaaS is for the people who want control but not the hardware headache.
Yes, exactly. Then next layer is a platform layer. So it is platform as a service. With IaaS, you got the virtual machine, but had to manage everything on it, installing the OS, setting the databases, configuring the security. But PaaS removes all of this. The provider gives you complete ready-made environment. You just write your code, upload it, and platform handles all the rest.
So so with the PaaS, you skip all the setups and jump straight to the buildings.
Exactly. Example includes Google App Engine, Heroku, or AWS Elastic Beanstalk. So you are building a food delivery app. With IaaS, you spend days just setting up the server before writing a single line of app code. But with the PaaS, you just focus on the app, and everything else is already there.
It's like being given the full setup kitchens. All the appliances are installed. Gas is connected. You just bring your ingredients and start the cooking.
That's the perfect analogy. The kitchen is a platform, your app is your dish. PaaS is especially popular with the startups and small teams who want to move fast. And the modern PaaS platforms can have even autoscale your app. But if the traffic suddenly spikes during a flash sale, the platform scales up automatically. When the traffic drops, it scales back down. So you don't have to do anything.
Autoscaling sounds like the lifesaver. So the IaaS is the empty apartment. PaaS is the furnished apartment. And what's the next level?
So the next layer is software as a service, SaaS. This is a layer every single one of us uses daily. With SaaS, the provider gives you complete ready to use application. You don't install it, maintain it or update it. You just open it and use it.
Like a Gmail or Google Docs or Zoom.
All of this: Gmail, Google Docs, Microsoft 365, Zoom, Slack, Spotify, Netflix, WhatsApp Web, all the SaaS services. The provider handles everything like servers, updates, security, patches, backups, scaling. You just log in.
And we get all of that for free or a small fees. How does that even work at the scale?
Because the cost is spread across billions of the users. Gmail stores years of your emails, has a smart spam filters, and works on every device and almost never goes down. So, and it is free. That's the power of cloud scale. SaaS has also been revolutionary for businesses. Before, SaaS companies brought expensive software licenses, installed them on every computer, and hired people to maintain them. Now they just subscribe to the something called as Salesforce or QuickBooks online, and everyone can access it anywhere, always on the latest version.
It's like the difference between buying a DVD and subscribing to the Netflix. One is a one-time thing that gets updated. The other is always fresh.
Brilliant comparison. SaaS is exactly that model applied to software, always updated, always available, no installation needed.
Okay, so we have the physical virtualization network, IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. What layer 7?
So the layer 7 is a client layer, and this is easiest one because it is us. This includes your smartphone, laptops, desktops, then tablets, smart TVs, any device you use to access the cloud services.
So we are the part of the architecture too.
Exactly. You open an app or browser, tap or type something, and that action gets sent to the network, to the cloud servers, get processed, and the result comes back to your screen. So your device is the window through which you are experiencing all of the other layers.
The client layer is the face of whole system, the part we see and interact with. All the heavy lifting happens below.
Perfectly said. You see a clean, simple interface. 7 complex layers are working behind it to make everything happen. So now let's make this real. So let us trace exactly what happens when you open Netflix and hit the play on the movie. So step by step through all the 7 layers.
Okay, let's do it.
So you pick up your phone and open the Netflix app. That's the client layer. Then you tap on a movie. Your device sends requests through your Wi-Fi router or your internet provider. So traveling across cables, possibly undersea cables, to the Netflix nearest data center. That's the network layer working. Netflix CDN kicks in and finds the nearest copy of that movie to minimize the travel time.
So the movie is not coming from one central server, it's coming from the closest copy to me.
Exactly. And the request reaches Netflix servers in data centers. So those servers are in virtual machines or physical hardware. The virtualization and physical layers, the Netflix application processes your request. That's the SaaS application layer, and running on Netflix platform, hosted on the cloud infrastructure layer. The server checks your account, your subscription, finds the movie, and starts streaming it back through the network layer to your device client layer, and the movie plays.
And all of that happens in under 2 seconds.
Usually under 2 seconds, and it happens millions of times a second for millions of users around the world simultaneously. This is the power of layered cloud architecture. Each layer does its jobs, communicate with the other layers, communicate above and below, and together they deliver a seamless experience.
You press play, the movie starts. 7 layers of engineering made that happens. That's actually kind of amazing.
Yes, that's the working of our cloud. So, alright everyone, we have covered a lot today. Here are the key takeaways. First one is cloud computing means using someone else's powerful computers through the internet, and it's data centers, not magic. Second one is layered cloud architecture has the 7 layers, which are physical network, virtualization, IaaS, PaaS, SaaS, and client layer. Each has a specific job. Third one is that bottom layers are invisible to users but essential to everything above. Fourth one is IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS are three service models based on how much you want to manage yourself. Fifth one, we see that every action you take on the cloud app travels through all these layers in milliseconds. And sixth one is that there are so many advantages of it, like scalability, flexibility, cost efficiency, reliability, and security. So these advantages make the modern internet possible.